Hello everyone, it's Tom. I'm back with another App Starter Stack tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to begin looking at the navigation bars and how to modify and create a navigation bar. I will divide this up into two portions um, because this is the fifth time I'm recording this. So I'm not gonna try to do it in one shot again. In this first video, we're just going to talk about the basics of the navigation bar and how things work. So let's start on our start here script, and if we go to load my navbars, this is a handler that's there for us to load navigation bars and items. So here we have a handler, demo navigation items, and if you scroll down here, we see these blocks of code about examples, user account, and you can see that each of these match one of the icons. Each one of these blocks match one of the icons here. So this is how navigation bars are defined. They are defined in code. So here we see that each item has a name and several other attributes. I'll point out a couple of them here, but I will get more into depth into these attributes in a different video. But I want to draw your attention to this. The first icon has the first navbar item has an icon that's an image, and you can see here the icon is defined as image, and then there's an image ID that's given to it so that it knows which image to use, and this image needs to be on the current stack, and I have this one on the resources page. So the SVG icons, however, they are defined as SVG, and then the SVG icon key is defined by using preset and the name of the preset. So in this case, it's star. You could see that. If you want to use a custom SVG, what you would do here is you would change this preset to SVG, and then you would put the code that makes up the SVG paths. They always start with an M. I'm not even sure what that is, but it's like M and then a bunch of numbers. This will be a really long line, but you just paste it in there and it's going to work. Let's just undo here. Okay, so that's the first part I wanted to explain. And also you can see that the order of the icons is also defined in code here. So you can change the order of your icons in your navigation bar whenever you want, whenever you find out that something needs to change in that regard. So next, let's go to the navigation state handler, and let's look at this handler, and we'll see in here that we have a switch statement that switches between navigation states, right? And there's a none state which has no bars assigned. There's a normal state which has the bar main assigned to the left navigation using this variable. So if we go to here, we can see that the name of the navigation bar that this icon belongs to is also defined in this block of code right there. So all these share the main name, the name main. So let's go back to this, and obviously if we put the main into, let's say, the top bar, and we refresh, obviously the navigation bar will go to the top. So the refresh handler takes a little bit of time to finish, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to try to speed it up somehow. But I want to demo here that if there's not enough space to show the icons, what you can do to see the rest is you can scroll your mouse wheel down or up to see the rest of the icons, and that works on the left bar, the right bar, the top bar, the bottom bar, any of the bars. Same idea. On mobile, you basically scroll using your finger. You want to touch between two icons and then drag the scroll bar. But I will be improving that to use a scroller, which will work better than the current method. So that's going to be one of the upcoming changes that we will be pushing to the GitHub repository. So let's carry on and let's look at the distribution modes for the icon. So if we go to our set navigation state handler and we scroll down past these states, we come to the additional settings section. And in this section, we get to define the size of our navigation bars, and we get to define the distribution mode of the icons in the navigation bars. So here you can see that the top bar has a distribute mode and a justify left, and then the same with the bottom bar, and then the left bar and the right bar have a distribute and a top down. So let's change the top bar distribution to be justify left. Justify left. You want to do these things quite carefully because it's easy to make a mistake. And but you only have to do it once. So if we refresh our stack and we just let it refresh and then we resize, we're going to see chug. We're going to see that the icons are no longer distributed, that they hug the left. So that's the premise of justify left. Let's change this back to distribute. I quite like the distribution mode there. So next, what we get to do is we are going to create our own navigation bar so that I could demonstrate this. So let's think about this for a second. What we could do is we could just make a copy of this handler and then start changing these blocks to be whatever we want it to be. And that's fine. You can do it that way if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this button, create new navigation bar. So when we click on that, the box is asking me for the name of the bar. So I'm going to name it my bar. Okay. And then it is asking me to enter a comma delimited list of icons or items that I want in there. So let's go with like home, news, sports, weather, and then let's go like quit. Okay. Standard nav bar for let's just do politics and then quit. Standard nav bar for like, a news app or something. So I'm gonna copy that in here and hit OK. And it's asking us whether we want to create cards to match those items. What I didn't mention before is that when a navigation item matches a card name, when the icon is clicked, it will take the user to that card. So that's one of the features of the stacks, is that when the navbar item matches a card name, it'll take you there. If you don't want an icon to take you to a different card, you just name it something different, and then you can define its code. So we're gonna say no to this, actually. So what we see here is that this is telling us that there's a code snippet that was created for us, and then it tells us exactly what we need to do with it. So what we need to do is we need to copy that, we need to go to load my nav bars, and we need to paste that snippet in here. And we'll see here that this is our items that we put into our navbar, and there is a random icon that's attached to each of them. So it just chooses a random icon. You can now go through this and change the colors and change the icon and change the label and change the tooltip and also the order in which they appear. So you can do that. I'm actually going to do styling of the navbar and of the stack in a different video, so I'm not gonna show that today in this one. So let's go, let's save this. Oh, there's a mistake here, sorry, in the variable declaration, so that cleared up that error. So let's go back to the set navigation state, and let's put my bar as the left bar. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work, and let's refresh. Okay, so we see that something happened, but we need for it to finish. This was really fast comparatively. So as you can see, our items are showing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 items that are showing up, and we have, how many items do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what happened? We have one bar. Sorry, let me just demo this properly. We have one bar overlapping the other bar. So you see, if I move this icon, you're gonna see that missing icon there. So what do we do in this case? We need to change the size of our bar, and that is where we go back to the set navigation state handler. We scroll down, and this is where this comes into play. So what are we changing? We're changing the left bar. So instead of full height, we're gonna put here minus top. If you were also minusing the bottom, you would put minus bottom. Okay, but we don't have that in this case. So let's see what happens when we refresh. And now we see that the left navigation bar actually starts below the top one, which is exactly what we want. Just a second, it's updating. Which is exactly what we want. So the left bar now is starting appropriately, and there's no overlapping icons. So actually, I'm going to improve the documentation here, the commenting, and make some put some hints here for you for the future. So that's it for this part. I'm going to sometime down the road do a video on styling the navigation bar and styling the stack altogether, but I will not be doing that here, and I don't mean to make it sound like it's gonna be too far down the road. It'll be sooner than later. So one last note. I know, Laggy, you expressed that it was important for you to have labels underneath the labels to go with the navigation icons. So I will be working on that for you, and I will be pushing that update sometime today or tomorrow, and you'll be able just to it'll just display label for each of the items, and you'll be able to set the label, the label's position in this. So for the top nav bar, we could set the icon, the label location, to be at the bottom of the icon. So that's where it would be. But I'll be fixing that. I'll be doing that for you. But that's it for this video. I'll see you next time.